Hi guys, it's Cruz here, and today I'm not going to be doing a ranking video or a review video, but today we will be doing a coaster war. And those two coasters that will be in the battlefield are the Incredicoaster, which is at Disneyland, and versus Montezuma's Revenge, which is in Knott's Berry Farm. I have been on both of them, but fun fact, when Incredicoaster was California Screamin', this was my first looping coaster. But I did not go on Montezuma's Revenge until last year because I went to Knott's for my late 10th birthday party. But now I cannot go because, this virus. Make sure to stay safe and wash your hands and stuff. That's really important. Stay safe, guys. So let's talk about the point system. So there will be 4 categories, and those categories will be number 1, intensity, and the length of the coaster. Number 2 is smoothness and restraints. Number 3 is theming. And the final category is capacity for each coaster. And for every category, it will be a score to 0 to 10 points. So if you would like, comment down below right now who you think might win. So yeah, let's get to the battlefield. So the first round is the intensity. So let's talk about the Incredicoaster first. So the first thing to point out is that they both have a launch, and they both have a surprisingly forceful launch. And both also have a single inversion, which is a vertical loop. But I feel like I have a way more better experience on Incredicoaster because if you know, Montezuma's Revenge opened in the 70s by the defunct manufacturer Schwarzkopf, and the Incredicoaster, or California Screamin' at the time, opened in the early 2000s. But the thing that also kind of bothers me a lot from both coasters is that number 1, the Incredicoaster has those cars with the bulky over the shoulder restraints. And number 2, for Montezuma's Revenge, it is a bit rough. But I know it is kind of not fair because it opened way back in the 70s, and Incredicoaster, or as known at the time as California Screamin', opened almost 40 years later in the early 2000s. But I still think the Incredicoaster is more intense because it has over a mile of track, and Montezuma's Revenge is a short shuttle loop coaster, which is a short ride. But I would have put Montezuma's Revenge higher in this round if it were smoother and longer. But for this round, I'm going to put Incredicoaster for the win. So it will get an 8.5 out of 10. And I will add 7 out of 10 for Montezuma's Revenge for this round. Okay, let's get to the next round. So the next round is smoothness. I know I told you all about the smoothness on both coasters in the last round, but now I'm going to go way more into my thoughts about both coasters for the smoothness category. So I'm going to talk about the smoothness on Incredicoaster first. So the smoothness is not like glossy smooth like a B&M Hyper or Giga, kind of like Fury 325, but it is kind of smooth for its age. I just really wish it was a bit smoother, and I wish it had lap bars, but nope, it has those bulky over the shoulder restraints, and you really don't need those restraints because there's only a vertical loop, but they're okay, I guess. It just bothers me a bit on those rough spots. Like on the vertical loop, you will get a little head banging. Oh, and talking about the vertical loop, it is very underwhelming. I don't have a reason to explain this. I just feel underwhelmed. It just feels unnecessary with all the bank turns, mid-course brake runs, and drops. Oh, talking about mid-course brake runs on this coaster, they have a bunch of these, but we'll get to that later in the next round. But not from Montezuma's Revenge. This is a 42-year-old coaster, so it is kind of rough, but it's still a fun ride. But the cool thing is that you launch into a vertical loop, and then you go to a spike where, if you look to your right and left, you can see all the coasters in beautiful places throughout the whole park. But then you go backwards from the spike and into that vertical loop again, but backwards. Then you go straight through the station, but backwards. And then you go to another spike, then back to the station, but the brakes kick in. Oh, And the restraints are your standard Schwarzkopf lap bars and the seatbelt, which are very comfortable and eliminate any headbanging. So the final scores are Incredicoaster, which will get a 6.5 out of 10 because of its over-the-shoulder restraints and rough spots. Well, that's the loss. Those are the reasons that the Incredicoaster loses the points. Sorry about that. And Montezuma's Revenge gets an A because of its comfortable restraints, but it loses some points for its small rough spots and short ride. Okay, now let's get to the next round of the battle. So now it is round 3. In this category, we will be talking about the theming. And I think you know who won, so I don't really need to talk about it, but I will talk about the theme. So let's talk about Montezuma's Revenge first. I don't really know the theme for this coaster. I could not find anything on my research for this theme. I guess it's like a dragon getting revenge on someone or something. Well, that's my guess. If you know, or if you want to leave your guess, you can do that in the comments down below. But there is a light circle kind of thing where the train goes through it when it launches. I don't even know what it's called. But enough of that. Let's talk about the Incredicoaster. If you have seen this coaster, which I think everyone watching this has, you will see 3 red tunnels on those 3 main drops. But if you get onto the coaster and you go through those tunnels, you will see incredible theming. So the storyline is that Jack, the baby, had got lost because he lost control of his powers, and now the Parr family, aka the Incredibles, need to go and save him. But the car you're in is Dash because he goes fast. Yeah, sorry. That makes sense, kind of. But as you expect, I'm going to give this one to the Incredicoaster, which is going to get a 10 out of 10. Well, I'll give Montezuma's Revenge a 5.5. Okay, let's head to the final round of the battle. Okay, the last round in the battle is capacity on each coaster. So let's talk about the Incredicoaster first. But remember when I said this coaster had too many mid-course brake runs? Guess how many there are? There's 6 mid-course brake runs. On the negative side, those brake runs slow down the ride and make it less fun, and it makes your ride experience not as good. But the good thing is, but the good thing about the mid-course brake runs are that it increases capacity drastically. And wow, those lines move quickly. Now let's talk about Montezuma's Revenge. So this only runs one train, well, it's a shuttle loop coaster, but the lines do go fast because the coaster is such a short ride. But I'm giving a 9 out of 10 for the Incredicoaster. This loses the point because of its mid-course brake runs take a lot of fun out of the ride. And I'll give Montezuma's Revenge a 4 out of 10 for this category. Okay then, let's get to the final scores. Okay, so our final scores are, you guessed it, Incredicoaster won, and Montezuma's Revenge loses. Yeah. Better luck next time, Montezuma's. You're still a great ride, but not as good as Incredicoaster. So yeah, clearly Incredicoaster wins. Sorry, Montezuma's Revenge again. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Also, make sure to like, subscribe for more of this content. See you guys in another video. Bye-bye.